I have a theory that offline is the new online. Let's talk about it. Hi, I'm Rochelle Fox. This is the Mindspo podcast, and you are listening to my I Have a Theory series. And today you are in for a special treat because I have the other co-founder of Mindspo with me, my partner in life and love and business, Chris Soll.
Hello, hello.
I thought it would be fun for Soll and I to do this particular one together because the whole journey of kind of discovering, realigning, rethinking our boundaries with digital media and the online world is something that we have been navigating as a couple, and not only as like a couple, but also as a couple that work together, live together, are digital nomads together, and run an online business together. And that's been fun.
That has been fun. I think we're not the only people who are dealing with this conundrum of feeling like our digital lives are taking over our physical lives, right? And I, for one, am here for the return. I'm really glad to see that there is a bit of a returning on this planet at the moment where people are valuing in-person experiences again and unplugging. I've seen videos of like kids who are like 13 or 10 wanting dumb phones, not wanting smartphones, because they can sense from the outside that this isn't cool. This isn't really what they're embracing. So
yeah. I think there is one thing I wanted to bring up in this particular podcast is I'm seeing a very interesting pattern. So I want to tell you, so we started Mindspo Babe in 2016. It is now 2026, 10 years ago. Guess what came out in 2016?
I'm not sure.
Instagram stories. Okay, so Instagram came out a few years before then, but 2016 was when Snapchat was really hot, and then Instagram stories basically, you might say copied Snapchat, that feature.
No.
And then there was this explosion of not only we just posting online and we're posting these little pictures, all of a sudden we're boomeranging, we're taking photos, we're taking videos of our day-to-day life. And now that has been 10 years of people literally documenting, consuming, putting themselves out there, and everything goes in waves. And I really do believe that being offline is the new flex. And it's crazy because when we started Mindspo in 2016, it was all about having an online business, getting an online business, being online, starting something in the online world. And now so many businesses like us are like, okay, how can we take what we've built online and then do it offline, in real life, in community, with the people that we're actually serving?
It's interesting, right? As anything rises, there's always this counterbalancing effect. And like you said, the new status symbol, if everybody is suddenly working online, then having hobbies, having time off, having done something that you didn't document, that becomes the rare thing. Anything that's rare, we attribute more value to, like diamonds, for instance. And so, yeah, it's really interesting to see this wave. I think what we don't realize is that we are wired for human connection. And as much as we'd love to believe that you can get the same impact of spending time with someone virtually, which sounds so great, right? Like Nokia, connecting people, Facebook, a place for friends, It's like, don't get me wrong, there's pluses and minuses, and these platforms and all of this technology is incredible to allow you to video call grandma from across the world or reconnect with someone you went to school with. But it's never going to, even if you're wrapping a TV around your eyeballs, it's never going to give you, or your nervous system or your biology, the same impact as being with someone, being in the moment, not being on all the time. And, I, for one, I used to love going to nightclubs. I used to love clubs, because no one had a phone. I remember the first Nokia phone that had a camera. It was a piece of crap camera, and the thing cost like $1,500. But it was like this tiny little pixelated, 160 by 160. I forget that. It's like a Tamagotchi bloody graphic.
I love it. We're giving Unk energy right now.
I am Unk.
We are Unk and Arnie.
Call me Unk.
If you are a Gen Z listening to this, you're
Techno Unk here. I don't care.
We are retro Unk right now, and I am proud. I am proud to be a millennial. Fight with me, bitch. I think we are the best generation. Come at me. I will defend it to the cows come home. I will give you a case study. But look, one thing I want to say, babe, in this whole journey is that I think it's really interesting to see this new trend, right? Where being offline is the new online, because I don't want to like flex here, but I do think that we're always a little early. We knew this as a company so long ago. It is why retreats are the cornerstone of Mindspo. What we have focused on so much over the years is our Mindspo retreats, because when we started teaching personal development online 10 years ago, and we started doing courses and doing our meditation course and doing all these things, we quickly saw that yes, it was having an amazing impact. People were getting changes. There were great things happening. Some of our reviews were insane. But then the first time we ever ran our first ever retreat, the transformation that people had from spending a week in community, away from their current environment, with a program, with structure, with a plan, with a way to disconnect, it was unlike anything I'd ever seen before. And it's still unlike anything we've ever been able to replicate in a course.
Look, all of your favorite memories are times where you did something special with people that you love. Or maybe, even if it's people you just met, the fact that it's special is because you formed some special bond with a bunch of people, or even one person that you met randomly and you had an adventure with. This is the stuff that we look back on when we are, 90 years old, reflecting on our life. We don't think about some post that had 10,000 reshares or a car that we bought, unless you have memories in that car with people. Once again, it's returning back to the same thing. And it's a strange thing. We are so chronically online these days that there is something that's gone missing that we forget about. We could sense that there's something missing, but most people are unable to actually articulate it because it's been so long since you've experienced it last. But for me, the memories of being a child are literally leaving the house and being in the ether, being gone. I'm Frodo Baggins on a bloody adventure all of a sudden. I'm roaming around my neighborhood. Yeah, literally. And no one knows where the hell I am. And by the time I come home, someone's tried to call and I try to call them back and they're off on their Frodo Baggins adventure now. And I'll tell you what, you create some incredible moments and memories of serendipity, of deeper meaning when you can have those moments of reverence. And the only time in my adult life that I feel like I've experienced those has been either when I've intentionally left the phone at home and I've just gone out and replicated that old scenario, or when you get together with a bunch of people in a new environment and the experience ends up overwhelming the need for the devices. It does require the retreats to set an intention, to set a frame at the beginning where we say, hey guys, let's just not pull out the phone all the time. But surprisingly, as soon as you leave it away and you realize like, oh my God, this is actually so much more rich. Like the fact that the moment isn't captured is what makes it so beautiful, because it's temporary. It has to be fully taken in.
One of my favorite memories, we ran a retreat during the pandemic. And before you have a lot of judgments of that, that was like our livelihood. That was our business. We didn't do it illegally. The place that we went to was open. So basically we all went to Greece and we had our retreat that had been booked years beforehand. It was the only retreat we didn't cancel during the pandemic because legally we were allowed to do it. So we went and executed it and did it. I'll never forget at the beginning of that retreat, after over a year of everyone just being attached to their phones and kind of in this state of, I'd like to say a little bit of PTSD, because we are so on edge, so dysregulated by this constant kind of crazy pandemic that is going on in the world. We said, all right, we have a choice. We are deciding to treat this retreat this week as 1999. We are going to put the phones away. We are going to leave them in our rooms. We are not going to talk about the news. We are not going to talk about politics. We're not going to talk about this versus that. None of that agenda. We are just going to be completely present, and we're going to pretend in this bubble, in this retreat that is happening, that the outside world doesn't exist, that it's not happening, and we're just going to be here. Oh my gosh.
Oh, so
that
good.
week was still some of the best memories, the biggest highlights. Like I just remember having the best week, one of the best weeks of my life. And it was just because as a group, we set this intention. And what I wanted to say on today's podcast with the whole idea of like offline being the new online is that I want to encourage you to bring this offline energy into your life and make it a goal from today moving forward to incorporate more ways to get offline, to be in community with more people who are offline, to really connect with the people in your life without your phone being there. I read this crazy statistic, babe, that said that this generation is going to be the first generation that is going to have more memories of other people's lives through looking at the online world than they will have of their own life. And I often use that 80-year-old frame. If you listen to this podcast regularly, you would know that I often bring up the 80-year-old and I make you like see your life through her or his eyes. Very powerful to do. I do that all of the time. When I think about myself on my couch chilling out at 80, oh my gosh. If I'm just thinking about other people's lives, I'm going to be so miserable. I'm going to want to kick my past self up the arse. And this year we actually decided, because of that retreat that we did in Mykonos, we had this idea to basically come up with, I'll tell the story. Soll and I were going to do this by ourselves. We were going to do a digital week detox retreat by ourselves, kind of just take ourselves somewhere in Greece or in the Mediterranean and just throw our phones away for the week. But the thing is, we kind of realized that if we did that, Soll and I will end up talking about work and about things because it's kind of, we're so insular, right? In our own little pod, oscillating our own little ideas.
We are the strategic couple,
yes,
according to psychometric testing.
Soul's very into that. So we were like, what can we do? Maybe we'll do it with some friends. And then we said to ourselves, wait. Let's do the first ever Mindspo digital detox retreat where we invite 20 other people from around the world to come and join us in Greece where Mindspo retreats all started. We are all going to lock our phones away. Chris has done the branding for it. The idea that the name we came up with is Presently Unplugged.
What could be better than a bunch of people spending quality time together, having long dinners, long chats, forgetting about the clock, the calendar, the inboxes.
Not photographing your food, not getting the Instagram shot.
Exactly. Like, don't get me wrong, there'll be some photos.
We're going to get disposable cameras.
We'll get disposable cameras or
stuff.
one person gets the group shot, but that's not what it's about.
Yeah.
You know, like what could be better than just really unplugging properly to let the nervous system come back down? And to do meditation once or twice a day, to then go swimming as a group and just really drink deep at the cup of life. And if you're going to do that, where better than in Greece? So we're doing it in northern Greece, in Lefkada, because I personally believe that when you're in an environment that has that crystal clear blue water, but with green vegetation on top of that, that to me just signals to your biology like this is heaven. This is literally it. So sunshine, sapphire blue water, and green nature,
mountains,
all together in a Greek environment. Because Greek people, you know, they know how to live.
They know how to relax.
All together, it's going to be a really, really special week because I just know it's going to attract also a certain type of person, the type of person that values this sort of experience.
And it's not for everyone. Like we've definitely had some people go like, so wait, when you're not documenting anything? I'm like, well, no, we're going to have cameras and things. You can take photos. We're just not going to be on our phones.
This isn't for the camera roll.
You can take your photos, do your thing, but you're not going to be doing it and uploading it and seeing how people react to it in the moment.
That's not what is important with this experience.
It's so funny because the more I am kind of just getting deeper in my own life about discovering like how can we spend more time offline and really, disconnect to reconnect. I just really want to do this more in community. I really want to be around more people that are also offline because I have noticed that when I've done this with my friends or I've been even in our other retreats, in our self-love retreats, we always have one day where we encourage people to like put their phones away. We've never made it compulsory, but basically everyone's always done it.
Yeah.
Those days, the conversations, the connections, the
special.
way people show up, the way people feel, because they don't think like someone's going to take a photo of them every single moment in their bikini. They're not worried about like getting in someone's stories. They're just your body. And this is something, I've done so much work on last year. Your nervous system isn't bracing for some kind of impact, for some kind of sharing, for some kind of performance, it just gets to completely downregulate and relax.
Yeah.
So that's one way that we personally are facilitating the offline is the new online.
And I have a recommendation.
Yeah, hit me.
If you don't mind. I read this in a book a long time ago. I haven't done this myself yet, but if you are inspired by the idea of bringing more offline into your life and creating those really deep experiences, then I suggest that you should try this in your own neighborhood with some people that you know. Arrange a time and a day where you're going to go out. It doesn't matter what you're doing. You could go to a couple of bars, a restaurant, a beach. It doesn't matter, some activity, but make a pact that you all only have one phone. So it doesn't matter if everybody brings the phones and you put them all in a Ziploc bag or something like that. But basically, everyone in the group is going to be offline except one person who has a phone, and it's really only, to call the Uber. Maybe they pay and everybody puts the money in the same account or whatever. You have it for the emergencies. But try to create this little group energy where everybody's offline, even if it's just for 90 minutes or something, because I read this in a book called The Art of Gathering, and the way they described it, and I could really feel into this being true, is that it's like a time warp to a group of people like in the 90s. The way they described it was a group of people doing it in New York, and they would just be roaming through the city as this little group of 8 to 10 people. And they would walk into any establishment and it would just light up the entire place, because everyone in there would be like, what is going on here? Because everyone is together in the moment. No one's overthinking, no one's absent-minded, no one's trying to quickly capture whatever or send another text. It's just a continuous stream of presence in this one energy ball of a bunch of people's fields combined. It sounds amazing. I can't wait to do this myself. I've already made plans with Kane to do it.
Oh, really?
When he comes back to Sydney.
Oh, I love that.
So yeah, I encourage you to try it. Be that strange friend who just suggests something totally brand new to your friends, because I really don't see how this can go wrong. And I can see all the ways that this is going to be one of your favorite memories for you and the people that you choose to do this with.
And this is the interesting thing. You know what being online 24/7 gets you. And it's so interesting in life, because sometimes I think we need to experience something at its maximum to then go like, oh, I know what this is. It doesn't really, to me, online, as much as I love my online presence and I'm an advocate for having a balanced digital media lifestyle, I rely on online for my businesses, for this podcast, speaking right now without it. So I have so much love and reverence for online. But at the same time, I think that as AI rises and there's just so much fake content out there and the internet's kind of eating itself and we're in this death spiral, we have to remember that if you are feeling dysregulated and you are feeling numb and you are online and you're just hijacking your dopamine 24/7, getting back to those real dopamine sources and being more intentional with how you show up online, what you look at online, and how you use these devices is going to make you feel so much better about your life, because you're going to be able to be someone that can go from being online to being offline, and you're not going to be someone who's just stuck in the online world, because so many people are just kind of permanently plugged in. I think we were never meant to be permanently plugged in. And when 2016, when we started this, you would go into the online world and then you would leave it and then you would be offline and you would live a rich life offline. Now those lines have gotten very blurred. So I think it's about creating those boundaries again, so that not only real life gets better, but online life gets better and exciting again. I love when I take time offline. If I go online, I'm like, wow, I'm so proud of my algorithm, and I get to actually enjoy it again. I get inspired.
I think 80-20 would probably be the ideal, although I think right now it's probably more like 60-40, and the 40 where the people are offline is because they can't be on their phone or something, maybe you're driving, you're at the job. I heard this one great story recently. It was from someone who is quite successful, and they explained that they were in a room with all these movers and shakers, billionaires and leaders of state or something. Either way, the highest echelon for where men would expect to try to end up, right? So you've got the people who have everything in a room together. And after an hour and a half, the guy realized, what were they all doing? What were they doing in their free time when they're all networking and hanging out together? You know what they were doing? They were sharing stories.
Yeah,
That's
so
it.
true.
And it shows you that even at the highest level, like billionaires and presidents and whatever, what mattered most at the peak was that you had real life experiences and that you were able to communicate them. And
So true.
I think both of those things are the opposite to sitting on a tiny little portable television and fragmenting your attention span while you're getting a little sliver of other people's peak experiences.
I want to add to this that I think that a lot of people think about growing their personal brand or growing their network or, kind of rising up in the community that they're in. And it's like, what is the best way to grow your network? Well, it is to do impressive things. Like, people want to be around other people and connecting with other people that have done stuff, right? You actually want to be connected to people that are movers, that are shakers, that are growing. So if you are so focused on just doing things online, but it's just all about online, not actually doing things in the offline world, in the real world, you're never actually going to rise up. So it's about like having that balance.
Yeah, life is meant to be lived, not through a screen. Because if you look at memories are like investments.
Yeah.
There's a book called Die with Zero. And the idea from it, I haven't read it, but I've heard about it and I've recalled it because I thought that makes a lot of sense. It basically encouraged you to have as many experiences as you can sooner if possible, because those memories will literally start paying dividends. And it's so true. And it made a lot of sense. And it basically just said to try to invest into real life experiences as early as you can, even if it's kind of uncomfortable, because the longer you've had those memories, they kind of become more significant as you get older. Like, I think back to being, 23 and traveling Europe for the first time, and I still recall those memories and experiences multiple times a year. And some of them almost become more valuable and more rich, and you become more grateful that you had them as time goes on. But yeah, I think the key takeaway is just that these devices, these platforms are incredible for what they can do, but they are a tool that you want to use. You don't want them to use you.
So true.
Because they have one purpose or one goal, which is to get as much of your attention as possible. Just like Netflix say their enemy is sleep, right? Like, it's something crazy like that. So these platforms, if you don't watch out and if you don't bring your own natural boundaries and value structure into it, it might just suck all of your time. And then it's because every moment that you're seeing is a peak moment, it can be like, wow, like your nervous system is really enticed and really addicted to it, essentially. So it's about bringing enough understanding that content is great, platforms are incredible, internet, wow. But don't forget, real life also, wow.
Yes, so true.
The ultimate wow, really.
Yeah.
There's nothing better than you having that experience for the first, in first person, without wondering about what the angle is or whether this was documented.
And I think ask yourself, going back to your idea of that, like, it's a tool, ask yourself, are you hitting yourself in the head with the tool? Because I think so many people, they'll be watching people doing what they want to do and they just keep watching it, and they're kind of using it as, I guess, this success porn, this like future porn, and they're saving all the videos, doing all the things. It's like, you don't need to see anyone else do it anymore. You need to now go out and do it and take action, because the longer you keep watching someone else succeeding at something, the longer and the harder it is for you to actually start the thing, because you create so much resistance, you create so much comparison, you start to think, oh, I'm here and they're there. As I've said in my other podcasts, the only difference between you and someone else that has what you want is they got up and tried more times. Like, they went and did the thing. So don't watch something online and then use it as a way to make yourself miserable. No, go and do something with your life offline, and then you can post it online. But remember that life is meant to be lived in this reality. If we were meant to be like digital characters in an online world and AI, we would be that, right? And I think that this is all about creating boundaries, understanding your limits, and being intentional. And look, if you want to come and join us in our
If you want to continue these chats in person,
if you would like to deep dive with the souls in Greece in
We will
August,
be-
this podcast is sponsored by Mindspo Retreats.
we'll be in Lefkada in
Yeah.
August, and
We'll
we'd
be-
love for you to be there.
Can I just say, see us in Lefkada. Honestly, it's so crazy as well. This place that we've booked. I just need to tell you a little bit about it. So I am a crazy person when it comes to Minds Retreats. Chris always knows this, that I often spend a lot more on the venues than what I should. Our first ever retreat, I basically made no profit because I got the bougiest place that I could. I take it very, very seriously, like making a trip or an experience for someone. But we found this retreat center in Greece, in Lefkada. It has 3 villas and they have these beautiful, luxurious rooms. The retreat is for men and women. So we've got couples coming, we've got singles coming, we've got friends coming.
Panorama views.
Like, it looks fake. It literally looks like a 3D AI rendering. And I was very particular for this retreat of where we were going to go because I wanted it to feel like if you didn't have your phone for a week, how could you create an expansive, chilled out environment where everything that you need is in walking distance and it just feels so relaxing. We've got this yoga shala. It's also a nervous system regulation retreat. So not only are we doing meditation, look at your nervous system.
What kind of environment would make being on your phone a downgrade?
Yes.
That's the way I
That
think of it.
was the vision. So if you want to unplug with us and you want to embrace this belief and this theory that I have that is so true, that offline is the new online, come and join us in Greece. There's a link down below in the description box where you can go and look at the website and fill out an application to join us. I've actually never seen Soll more excited about a retreat.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm counting down the days.
He is. And we've, oh my gosh, if you've read Magnetic, you would know that I'm an absolute freak for Mario Kart, so Nintendo 64. We actually bought a retro Nintendo 64 from Germany. It's at our place in Budapest.
And it works, because I bought 2 before and they didn't.
So it works, and we've got 4 controllers. So I know it's a digital detox retreat, but we're going to play
Super Mario Kart Championship.
On the TVs, do a championship. We're going to bring Uno and board games, Monopoly.
Yeah. And some floaties so we can all go swimming together in a group.
And I think if you really want to connect with us, this is going to be the retreat that it's not a crazy program. We're going to be doing meditation and regulation exercises, but it's going to be off time. Like, we're just going to be chilling with you off our phones, relaxing.
Yeah, long dinners, maybe a dance party at night, good music. Gonna put on some concerts on the project. We're bringing a laser projector so that we can put on I've got some ideas. Don't worry, I've got notes.
Chris is very excited. Anyway, Thank you so much for listening to yet another podcast. I hope you enjoyed having Soll on the potty today. As I always like to say, the best is yet to come for you. And one of the ways that you can make the best is yet to come for you is to get offline, go live in the real world, go embrace your time as a human in the 3D reality, because you came here to have a human experience, not an avatar experience in a digital world. And lastly, never forget, you create your own reality. So my friend,
and make some magic.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for ending it. Love you. All right. See you in the next one. Bye.